Alright, well, I'm going to show you guys a couple gardens that we've got growing. And I'll try not to shake the camera too much as I'm walking. But I haven't been able to mow the grass in a couple weeks. I started my mower on fire. But you can see the watermelons that we eat. We just kind of give the rest to the chickens. Now there are pathways, but it's all pretty overgrown. But I got this little wood chip area that you guys have seen over the years that the chickens have been digging in and just broke down over the last 2 years. Here's some sunchokes I got growing in here. I transferred from another spot in the fall. And this is all the wood chips that the chickens have spread out. I didn't spread any of this. But I had to plant corn about 4 or 5 different times. And then I started doing this landscape fabric kind of fence. And then I just used the wood chips in here to bury along the edges. And then mound up along this. Now I just planted this corn just a couple weeks ago. I'm talking like last week of July. Barely 2 weeks, about a week and a half. And that corn right there and everything, all this whole big patch I planted 4th of July. And that's a mix of about 6 different Native American varieties of corn. There's cucumbers vining over, wild squash. If you guys remember the wild squash I found growing up the tree, that's the squash right there. And there's some little fruits here, but it's just busting out. You can see right there, there's some of this wild squash fruits. And I had to try a couple different things to stop the chipmunks from eating all my corn. And this was pretty successful. You know, it stopped them from getting in there. It allowed the corn to get nice and big. And I mean, this corn right here is about a month old, and it's already taller than I am. And the wood chips with all the chicken poop definitely help. And you can see that I kind of did the corn in a big circle with a big ring of beans around it. And a little bit of squash in the corners. You can see some squash right here. And this was a round butternut squash that I've been working on. You can see some more butternut over there. And this is Slim. This is Slim, our scarecrow. Now, if you guys are wondering about those giant tall weeds behind Slim that are like 15 feet, 20 feet tall, touching the tops of the telephone wires, that's a giant ragweed. And that's just like normal ragweed, just a different species, and it gets pretty big. But yeah, I'll show you. And I got some cucumber vines growing in here too. These are all cucumber vines. A couple okra plants. You can see that. They haven't even started flowering yet. But a bunch of the corn kind of fell over right here. And I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. Not too big of a deal. I planted so much corn here that if, you know, a little section of it falls over, it's alright. And I got some tomatoes here that are just getting huge. Black prints. And all this stuff here was just planted about a month ago, so rather than take the wood chips somewhere else, I kind of just plant directly in where they brought the wood chips and everything. Now this right here was planted about mid-June, and this is another three sisters style type of garden with the beans and the squash, except this one doesn't have beans. It's got amaranth, wild squash, and glass gem corn. And that amaranth right there is just about 8-9 feet tall, the one right up front. And the corn's just about the same. And it's got wild squash growing, bushing out down here and growing all the way up. And this one's got some squash on it. I got to eat one. We ate one fresh, and it tasted really good. It wasn't bitter or nothing. It tasted like a cucumber. It was sweet like a cucumber, raw cucumber zucchini. And look at the stem on this thing. Do you guys see that stem right there? This is like the stem for a male flower that actually has a fruit at the end of it. Really, 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 really weird. Now there's a bunch of different phenotypes in this one. I mean, there's a lot of diversity. I only planted seeds from one fruit, and I've got like at least 3 different varieties that are growing in here. Like this one's got the long stem, and if you look real close, you see how it's kind of got that little bit of yellow in the middle. Well, there's some more over here that are growing up into the glass gem corn. That's a little bit different. Like this one right here has got a short little stem, and it's more white and doesn't have much of a neck, which is pretty cool. And then I've got this one, which looks a lot like the fruit that I harvested last year, like the parent fruit. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. See how it's got that it's got the wrinkly thing going on, but it's got the long stem. Now the fruit that I harvested from the woods, from the wild, had the long stem, and it kind of looked like this and had the long wrinkly things going on. But these look like summer squash. These look like, you know, stuff you can eat. So that's that one over there. I got all excited. We cooked it up, and actually we didn't even cook it up. We ate it raw, and the wife mixed it into a salad, like a cucumber salad. Where is it at? Oh, here's another one. Yeah, check them out. I mean, they look yummy like a summer squash, you know. Hopefully it's not too bright. Let's see if I can block that sun out. But look how it's like mint green. But man, these little guys taste good. And if it's bitter, you got to be careful sometimes with cucurbita. Some of them are poisonous. Some people say if it's bitter, it's a spitter. But this one right here wasn't. It tasted like a sweet cucumber. So I'm stoked. The seeds are going to be good from that. And look at this glass gem corn. Now I'm pretty happy. I haven't grown glass gem corn in about 2 years now. And look, I got the squash growing all the way back here. And like this stalk right here has got 4 ears on it. Let's see if I can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one right here I think's got 3. But even the chipmunks got this. I tried growing in chain link fence, and it kept the chickens out, but the chipmunks found it pretty quick. But I also grew in some of this stuff right here. This really wild, thorny. You know, it's like a cousin to the tomato, and you know, I'm pretty sure it's in the nightshade family. You know, these types of. They got purple flowers, look like eggplants and stuff like that. But basically, they're really thorny. I don't know the exact name of them, but the chickens don't even go in there. So I planted a bunch of corn in there to see how it would do. And it did good. The chipmunks didn't find it. I got some of it, got tassels on it, and there's going to have little ears growing on here pretty soon. And I got a big old amaranth right over here. That's got a big flower head on it. But yeah, so we got glass gem corn, this big red amaranth. Now I didn't plant this red amaranth. I planted the corn and the squash. But there used to be a big amaranth that was volunteered last year that reseeded all of these wood chips. So as soon as I started, I gave this guys a little bit of water in the beginning. It just started taking off. I actually had to weed the amaranth out of there, and that we were eating those as greens for a long time. Like all this amaranth, I didn't plant none of it, which is good. I'm just going to let it reseed every year and just become more and more and more. So I'm pretty happy. This wild squash is doing really good. The vine borers aren't messing with it. I didn't get hardly any zucchini and summer squash. I got like 4 or 5 summer squash, and then the zucchini, everything got eaten by the vine borers this year. So the fact that the vine borers don't touch this, and it tastes like a summer squash, and just, I mean, literally, you can see it vining up into the corn. That's the squash right there. And there's some squash right over here climbing up this corn, going all the way. Look at this. Look at this. This is up to my chest right here, chest level. And there's a little fruit on there. Let's see. future glass gem year of glass gem corn. But I mean, look at this. Look at this is up to my this is eye level, guys. Here's a ear of glass gem corn right here, and then the wild squash growing all the way up it. Now it was growing 20 feet up the tree, so I'm sure it's gonna go all the way to the top of these guys. And then I've got some green corn growing in here, a mix of a walking green dent and then another green dent that I kind of picked a lot of the green kernels out of a really nice variety. And earth tones dent. I picked a lot of green and blue colors and tried to grow them together. Maybe I'll get something, maybe I won't. I mean, it's, you know, August 10th right now, so we'll play it by ear. We'll see. Maybe I'll get something. I did the same thing with that and planted it in 4th of July, and it's growing better than any other corn that I've grown. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Here's some watermelons. Bunch of watermelon just busting out of here, guys. All this stuff's just busting out. There's some watermelons down there. Look at this. This one doesn't really have a long stem either. It doesn't really have the fruits, kind of more teardrop. It's got a short stem that attaches to the fruit. But yeah, I'm gonna grow a lot more like this next year, and I'm thinking about just fencing off this whole wood chipped area and doing a bunch of little Native American style patches of gardens, you know, squash, beans, amaranth, sunflowers, corn, that kind of stuff. And I guess as long as I can keep the chipmunks out, I don't have to worry about losing more than half of my corn when I plant it, you know. So I can plant less. Like I planted those pretty dense, both of those pretty dense, and that's just how I'm used to planting. The chipmunks thin it out for me, thin it out too much sometimes. I got to replant it a whole bunch. So if you're using these little fabric fences, landscape fabric fences, you know, you don't need much seed because most of it will germinate. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all take care, and I'm sure I'll keep you guys posted on all the stuff we harvest out of here. Thanks for watching.